Can you talk about the piece that you painted?
There's a woman and there's a sunset of like the eye.
Yeah, I don't know.
Stop hating. Having like actual open conversation. You wouldn't expect it with like some guys. You being a coward? And I was like, what? And I was like, am I dumb or something? It's not really like putting use to a guy. It's not you. Like they don't see me working behind an office. Oh my god.
Man.
Don't get me started.
Is one of your goals in the future to own your own barbershop?
Where people can really open up to me. And I've seen myself like mentoring over people.
We want to say thank you to Mashiro for joining us today on this episode of MEI the podcast.
Yo, and welcome to episode 6 of MEI the podcast. We're your hosts, Marcina, Langrine.
And I'm Matthew John, project specialist at the Marshall East Educational Initiative, a nonprofit based in Springdale, Arkansas.
Today's guest is Mashiro Yamane. Mashiro Yamane is a recent graduate from Springdale High School. He was born and raised in Arkansas. Mashiro was the president of Springdale High School Islander Club from 2024 to 2025 and was an active member of the club throughout high school. During this time as Islander Club president, Mashiro organized numerous cultural and educational activities, often in collaboration with the Marshall East Educational Initiative. He is currently working on his barbershop license. He plans to attend Northwest Arkansas Community College to earn his associate's degree, after which he will further his education at the University of Arkansas to pursue a Bachelor of Science in Education. Welcome, Mashiro. How are you doing today?
Good. How are y'all?
We're doing great. We're so happy.
Feeling great. Glad to have you here.
It's an honor to be here. It really is.
Yeah.
Pretty
Is this your first podcast?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, just from, reading your bio really shows how active you were in high school.
Yep.
And I just want to say congratulations first off from graduating with honors.
Hey.
Yeah. So super proud of you.
Putting that work.
There is a saying that says, enjoy high school because when you blink twice, you'll be in your cap and gown staring at your class, wondering where time went. And so I want to ask, what was your favorite memory in high school?
One of my favorite memories in high school was honestly, I think, sophomore year. And I was asked this question before because my senior year, I was a part of the homecoming court. Mm-hmm. And so they asked the same question and it had a little bio whenever they presented it in front of the school. I did my walk. But I put down my sophomore year, Springdale was going against Harbor, our rival team for basketball. Mm-hmm. And I remember I was in the stands watching, and it was in the fourth quarter. We were down 2 points, and we get a steal, and this guy throws a lob and dunks it, and everyone in the stands is wild.
Oh, my God.
And that's whenever everyone was all crowded up. So everyone was just oh, my gosh. That was so fun. That'd probably be one of my most favorite memories from high school. Just going to the games. Those are always fun.
Yeah, I'd say, because I also attended Springdale High School, I was part of that team that was down 2 touchdowns.
Oh, yeah, against Harvard? Yeah.
Came back in the last second, scored touchdown, yeah.
Wait, what year did you go at Springdale?
I graduated in 19.
19?
Oh,
nice. Yeah, they still have his prom king thing over there. I'm my fault, Matt. My fault.
Yeah, because that was the first year that they did prom king, right?
Yeah.
Really?
So, that was their very first year. Because before, what did they usually do? What was the tradition?
They normally just had prom, but they didn't do prom king, queen. So I guess after we beat Harbor, we just wanted to continue to break down these barriers and start new traditions everywhere.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. That was the first Marshallese prom king. And so excited for you.
Yeah, a little overrated.
A little overrated. And so, Mashiro, were there any other clubs or programs that you're part of in high school?
I'll start with my 9th grade year. I was part of junior leadership. It was this teacher chosen thing. 5 of the kids were supposed to be there to represent George, where I went to. And there's 5 other kids in every other school that went. And it was just this program where we got to figure out the local companies, entrepreneurs, and they're just showing us job opportunities, and it was pretty cool. We even got to see that like the helicopters that like go to like they're like ERs, but they go
Oh,
fly over. You know what I'm talking
okay.
about? Yeah, we went
That's
to go see.
cool.
That was pretty cool. And then we went to some hospitals and we did like a lot of community service. That was my freshman year. But then besides Islander Club, I've been a part of like National Honor Society, Spanish Honor Society, and academic leaders my sophomore year. And that's what I could think of right now, besides like the sports I did, which was track and basketball. But
Yeah.
I stopped being in track my junior year, and I stopped with basketball my sophomore year. And that's because of something that came into my life.
Yeah.
Passion.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So with the National Honor Society and Spanish Honor Society, do you get chosen for those, or do you apply for
So
those?
you apply, or national honors is given to some people that reach like a certain GPA or
Okay.
whatever, and then I think Spanish Honor Society, you just fill out a form and they get to read it, and they're like, okay, we want you to be a part of this.
Oh.
And what that was is just community service. Like,
Okay, I was about to ask, like, what do you know in Spanish Honor Society?
Yeah,
I thought you were
no,
like, do you speak Spanish?
I was in Spanish for 2 years, so
Okay.
I guess I'm trilingual, but
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Love that.
That's cool.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's good to learn Spanish because, Northwest Arkansas,
yeah.
a lot of that we have a lot of Spanish speakers here.
Mhm.
So that's a good, like, I want to learn Spanish. I need to learn Spanish.
Yeah.
It's pretty
I
cool.
don't even know the basics. So
Yeah, I can only keep up like a 5-minute conversation. That's
Yeah.
really it.
Hey, you go somewhere in like Spain, Mexico, you can order whatever you want in Spanish.
And so with that, what other extracurricular activities did you enjoy the most and why?
By far, Islander Club. That was probably my favorite
Oh, yeah?
extracurricular thing to do. Like, I mean, sports were always fun for me, but Islander Club, I was able to connect more with my community, especially doing like the parades and stuff. Those were always fun.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I always saw myself hanging out with older kids in high school. And so whenever I was a sophomore, I was like our sophomore representative. And then my junior year, I was the junior representative. I was always hanging out with the seniors, and it would always be fun just doing stuff with them.
So what was your favorite activity in Islander Club?
I think it was definitely like Monday week, just because that was homecoming week, but also
Right.
like all the parades were there, and
Right.
I mean it's Monday week, like we get to celebrate my family and everything.
No, I love I love going to the schools during Monday week whenever we are participating. It's always so fun
Yeah.
to see you guys, perform, but also it's also interesting to know like how much knowledge, the students know, and what they don't know, it's like they're not afraid to ask us like for help and be like, hey, like, can you explain what this is? And so that's kind of like what, like what we're here for, is to help teach about our culture, not only to non-Marshallese, but also the youth that grew up in the diaspora.
That's like something we didn't get to experience. My years at Springdale High School was like Monday week. We never got to have that.
Same here.
Yeah, so like that's really cool that you guys got to experience that. Like that's something that I think I can vouch for all of my classmates and like classmates after me that didn't get to experience Monday week. Like we admire that because you guys are.
It's just because like we've become less of a minority in the schools. That's why we're having like more of our things. Like so, I think obviously I'm blessed to have that, especially because I'm able to be with my community, be with Marshallese kids. And so, yeah, that's one thing. That's one of the ways I connect with my community more, was just in school, which was really cool. And I'm happy that I got that experience. And I mean, I bet you guys would have loved it when you were in high school.
I probably would have loved it
I
a lot.
loved it. You guys like don't do it small. Like you guys do it up every year.
Yeah.
Like it's always so fun to like go and work at that event and to like table and to help with the students. Like that's just something that's really cool.
Yeah, when we were in high school, we had international night, or we had international club, but we didn't have Islander Club, and so it was just like us and our Hispanic friends. So that was always fun. It's so fun because both sides are like trying to speak to each other in English, and it's just always so interesting to see them like communicate. But at the end of the day, like they understood each other, and it was just so cute.
You were the president of the Islander Club, but you were also an aspiring barber. I want to ask like how you managed to balance being in school, doing all these great things, but also like being the Islander Club president and trying to be a barber?
Like I said earlier, I found a new passion, and it was barbering. And so one of the first things I had to do was make that decision, like, okay, do I really want to prioritize cutting hair over my sports? And I didn't see myself going anywhere with sports, especially because I was falling out of love with like anything like basketball, especially track too. But what I did was just find more time, and I made more time. That's one of the things I did. And that started with letting go of basketball and then committing that summer. And I see it as a job. Like, I know there's a lot of kids out there that like have a job and then go to school. Like, they do that a lot. And so I wasn't too worried about managing time. But my senior year, that's whenever it kind of hit, when becoming president, because I took a toll, like, just, okay, I have to do this. Instead of like just helping the president, I'm actually the president, and I have to make decisions. I guess I would prioritize my school the most, even though I had cutting hair and everything. Like, there'd be people asking for a haircut later at night, but I knew I had to do stuff at school. And sometimes I did fall short because I ended up cutting people's hair, but I guess managing time was just being disciplined and making sure, like, okay, I get this done at night and I do this and that. And I get stuff done now instead of later. And that's what helped me the most.
Yeah, that's like one thing that I realized, like, some of the kids and the younger generation struggle with like discipline. So it's good to know that a figure like yourself, the Islander Club president, is holding himself accountable to stay disciplined to his routine and just trying to stay on track to having a successful senior year, which I think you did. And I'm proud of you for.
Thank you.
What did a day look like a typical day where you have cuts at night, you have an event, like, or something, for Islander Club, and then you have school the same day? Like, what did all that look like in one day?
So the typical day for me during the school year would be wake up in the morning, go to school, and then I had out periods. So on my A and B days, I both had an out period on the last period. So I get out of school at 2:30 instead of 4. So I gave myself some leeway, give myself like 30 minutes to eat, and then I'd start cutting hair at 3. And then from 3 to 8, that's like my set time where I would just cut hair. And if someone was wanting a haircut late, like, I'd charge them more, but that would be my schedule. And then I would do my homework and stuff. But then I would find myself like doing other things, but that was just me, just not being disciplined, but I'm still trying,
It's all we can do. Just try.
Yeah.
So was there ever a case where you accidentally double booked something?
I'm speaking for all barbers, like, especially without using an app. Yes. Like, there's been times where I tell someone, oh, you can come this time, and then I had someone scheduled for that time. But I think I did a really good job of just using the app to schedule my people and putting them down, making sure, like, okay, this is person, this time, this is this. And and if I needed to squeeze someone in, I'd always manage time. So I think time management was the best thing for me. But the worst part about my time management was like the starting part. Like, I mean, you guys know I came late to a few events. I came late to a few things. Like, that's just my con, just coming in a little late. But I always get things done when I was supposed to.
That's okay too.
Yeah.
Like we're human, Yeah. Like, we can't be perfect. Nobody's perfect.
Just working on being punctual. That's a key thing. But
yeah, I commend you for knowing what you need to work on and then just attacking it.
Yeah.
So. And how long have you been cutting hair, and what inspired you to pursue that passion?
So I had a friend named Ralph. He's all the way in Keene now, but he used to cut hair like my friend group's hair. And so honestly, I've been wanting to cut hair. I remember in elementary, like, I'll just watch this one guy named 360 Jeezy. I feel like a lot of guys did that. And so that was just something I like to do for fun because I thought it was so cool. But my friend started doing it, and he left my sophomore year. No, my freshman year. At like the beginning of my freshman year. And I like needed a haircut, and I was like, dang, like, he's not here anymore. And my cousin that lived 2 minutes away from me, I had just moved. And so I'm in a new like area. My cousin lived 2 minutes away from me, and he was like, you know what, you can draw. So like, you could probably cut hair too, you know what I mean? Yeah. And so I started from there. It was basically that. Like, I had some clippers lying around from when I went buzz. I buzzed myself. And so I started from there, and that was about 3 years ago once August hits. So I've been cutting for 3 years. Still learning, but I've been cutting down on my, my craft, getting better day by day.
you are a very talented artist. We have a piece of his that actually travels around the world. So how much of that actually accommodates to your skills or your craft, like cutting hair?
I think one thing about me, I don't want to brag, I want to like come humbly. I feel like I'm a very creative person, especially with my hands. I like to do things with my hands. Like growing up, I always liked drawing, and I'd always catch myself like drawing for people. You know, that's how I started pre-K. People telling me to draw them Angry Birds and stuff, and I was like, okay. I think the creativity part helps me with just like seeing like, okay, like with designs and everything, doing that, but also that perfection part of me.
Yeah,
like I could see little things, and I feel like I had that eye before becoming a barber. You know, I saw like little imperfections with every haircut, so
yeah,
always wanted to fix that.
Yeah, your piece has definitely traveled all over the world.
I completely forgot about that.
And when it's at the, it's been to the United Nations. Like, not a lot of people can say, hey, my art piece was at the United Nations.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. It's definitely, it's been in like Geneva, Japan.
We took it to Germany.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Vienna, and so New York.
Where's that
all
bit?
over.
Wait, so where's it now?
It's hanging out. It's on the wall.
Oh, really?
Did you see it?
No, I didn't get to see it. I haven't seen it in so long.
We left it in here because I remember, or can you talk about the piece that you painted?
There was a woman and there's a sunset of like the islands, and then the back was like flowers that represented the ashes from the bomb, I think.
When we do go to the United Nations, it's always women that are very gravitated towards your art piece. And
Really?
like, I'll have to show you photos because I always take photos of them from like behind, and they're just like staring at your piece and like talking about it and having like little discussions about it.
This is like the first time I'm hearing about this. Like, I didn't know people really like my piece. Like, I knew it was went far, but
they've even asked if they can purchase it,
and
I'd be like, sorry, it's priceless.
No, yeah, that piece is like one of our, because obviously we have Marino's pieces who go like that go around the world, and everybody
Marino's
else
pieces too.
But that's just like one of the trademark pieces that has to go when we go out of town. When we leave the country, that's a trademark piece that goes.
I feel honored. I mean, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
You should definitely draw more.
I saw
whenever
some
you get
paint
the time
in the office, and I was like, dang, that reminded me of the painting.
Yeah. Yeah, Marino is also he's the visionary and the artist at MEI as well. So have you seen his paintings?
Yeah, he showed me some.
Wow.
Very cool.
Yeah. I could draw like stick people.
Yeah.
I wish I had
I can draw. But you're the musician. That's
another
good.
creative output. So.
Exactly. You are working towards becoming a licensed barber. Do you know the process of earning a barbershop license?
It's a good thing that you asked that, because I start in like a few days. I start Monday.
Nice.
And so the process is like there's certain hours you got to reach in a certain like trade, or so it'd be like dyeing hair and doing shear work that you need like 300 hours of that. And then just cutting hair is like 400, but there's a total of like all these other things that lead up to like 1,500 hours.
Okay.
And so,
Dang.
yeah, it's a lot. And you got to get it done. What they plan you to finish is like 10 months. They plan for you to finish in 10 months. And so usually it takes everyone a year because of like little breaks. They do like family vacations. Like obviously you want to have those. But yeah, so I'll be done in a year, but like my first like month is just gonna be like understanding like the germs and like the like, you know, how to take care of your equipment and what are the hazards of like not taking care of it, like just that stuff. And then shear work, like sectioning hair, and you have to like it's not just a barber, like it's a barber stylist,
right?
And so you have to learn how to cut women's hair, which is something I didn't really know like I had to do, but they told me during orientation. I was like, man, that's pretty cool.
Are there like scholarships for these trainings, or is it just like you have to pay out of pocket up front?
So if you're paying out of pocket, it would be you have to pay it all off in 10 months, and it's $18K. Yeah, it's a lot.
I didn't realize it was that much.
Yeah, it's a lot. But you can get scholarships. Like I got a scholarship for work readiness, and so like if you get any scholarship from that, like a CTE scholarship, you can hand them over. Or just literally any scholarship. They'll take anything.
And is one of your goals in the future to own your own barbershop at some point?
I mean, I think if everything goes all wrong, like my other plans don't go as how I planned it to be, I think I definitely would own my own barbershop or even start up my own school. Barber school. So it'd be even better. It'd be cool.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with like I know there's a lot of Marshallese barbers in the area. Is there one that you look up to, or is there any other barbers that you really like look up to, or one that really inspires you?
So when I first started cutting hair, like obviously I started getting money, so I didn't have to go to the salon to get a haircut anymore. And so the first person I went to was Andrew Peter.
AP,
yeah. That's my guy. He was like my mentor. He always gave me like tips and tricks with cutting hair. And he always inspired me to just like not be like so doubtful. Just because I can speak for every barber again that like starting period is just very hard just because like, oh, you're like, I can't do this, blah, blah, blah. You're always comparing yourself. And it's hard not to do that, especially because you know you're growing and everything. But he always encouraged me and told me like, man, you're making such good progress. And yeah, I mean, I always had good conversations with him, and he taught me that cutting hair is not just like getting in the chair and getting a haircut. It's more about the experience, and that's where my whole process in cutting hair changed when I saw it as an experience for my clients, and that's how I wanted to continue separating myself from like other barbers.
Yeah, that sounds like something AP would say.
Yeah, he's motivational, bro.
And also, like I feel like being a barber, like also building like those relationships. Because if one person like really likes you, then that person will keep coming to you and being like a regular customer because they trust you with their hair, obviously.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I've become a lot closer with a lot of people through cutting hair. Yeah. Because I cut in the garage, so it's just me and that person, whether they bring in someone else or not. But it's a private place where people can really open up to me. And I've seen myself like mentoring over people, younger people, and talking to them about their problems and just having like actual open conversations. You wouldn't expect it with like some guys, Yeah. Some guys you're like, oh, he's all hard. Like he doesn't care. He's all gangster. But some of them have a true heart, and I get to experience that and talk to them. And I'm thankful for that. Yeah. That people are able to open up to me about those stuff.
Since you mentioned, getting cuts out of your garage, if people want to get a cut from you, where can they set up an appointment?
So I'm linked on my Instagram. I have a link on my bio. It's like to the Cut app. It's this app where it's meant for barbers for booking. There's like two different apps, but I use the Cut app, and all you have to do is just click a time or go on my profile, click book now, and then click a time and click a day, and then we'll work from there. And it'll show you my availability. So like obviously if someone booked at like 2, it's not going to show 2. So
yeah, I know I'll be scheduling an appointment this summer. Y'all can't see my hair and need some work.
He's trying to grow out his hair.
Yeah. I was thinking about dreads, but then I was like, nah, it's too much maintenance.
There's a lot of maintenance,
Yeah. One of my friends in Louisiana, it's like, not going to work. I was like, ugh.
I mean, you could try getting braids. Like,
I was thinking about it. I was like, ugh. Braid's not gonna look good because I have an egghead.
Oh, really?
So I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna do that to myself, bro.
It's like his hair is like thick, but then at the same time, I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, it's funny.
It just depends on the weather or the day.
Just get a perm. I could perm your hair once I get to school.
No, dude, I would do a perm, but there's already a guy that I know that has a perm. I don't be like a copycat.
Yeah, that's how it is. I mean, everyone's has their own
that's
perm
funny.
phase.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You do you, bro.
You start barber school in a couple of days, right?
Yeah.
Like, what are you most excited about in the next phase of your life?
I mean, it's pretty hard to say just because I've talked to my barber now, and he's always told me like it's very draining just because it's cutting hair now and then from 9 to 5 and then cutting hair from like 6 to 10, because I start to find a way to make money. But I think what I'm most excited about is getting to know more people in the barber school and like just upgrading my craft, So it'll be pretty cool learning how to do different trades like cutting hair or cutting women's hair. That's something I thought would be pretty cool. I can cut my mom's hair so she doesn't have to go to like a salon or anything.
You can cut my hair too.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. But and also dyeing hair and perming hair. I think that's cool. That's something I kind of look forward to, even though some people don't. But I think it'd be pretty cool.
That would be cool if you're dyeing hair. I'll get my hair dyed.
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool.
I don't know. I don't know.
Stop hating.
For real.
Just kidding. I
dude.
support. I
D1
support. I support.
hater.
Yeah.
Besides all these things that you're going to be doing, like in terms of chasing your goals and stuff, like what do you have? Like, not to say that they're not fun.
Yeah.
What do you have that's planned out for like specific extracurricular fun?
Extracurricular fun?
Are you gonna do anything fun this summer?
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with my church to Colorado Springs. I went last year and it was really fun. Like,
Yeah.
I
it's
love
super
Colorado.
Yeah, it's so
Oh
nice.
my gosh.
Everywhere you look at, it's a mountain.
Yeah.
It's so gorgeous. I love it.
Yeah, I would love to go to Hawaii just for my senior trip.
I love Hawaii. I was born and raised in Hawaii, and so and that's my little sister. Her graduation present. She wants to go to
Yeah.
Hawaii,
Mhm.
and I was
I
like,
just-
let's go.
I mean, I wouldn't care if I went by myself. I just want to go. Like,
Yeah,
it'd be
dude.
really fun.
It's an
I'm
experience
telling
for
you,
sure.
it's so fun.
I went there 6 years ago. Now I want to just go again.
Yeah. How was that?
When I was in 6th grade, it was pretty like restricting, I want to say, because I wanted to do stuff. My parents were like, no, we already have this set up.
Oh.
And so if I go by myself, I could just like, I could check this out, you know,
Yeah.
take pictures. Like, go. One thing I love about Hawaii is the countryside. When you just
Yeah.
driving around and you see all these like hills, and it's just so like it's really.
There's so many
beautiful.
waterfalls over there, and hiking is super fun. The food,
Oh my god! No,
Man.
don't get me
7-Eleven, we got like we sold out 7-Eleven because we bought some before we
Yeah.
went to leave. We had some in our luggage, eating it in the plane.
You know, he didn't believe me. He didn't believe me when I said, "Hey, when you go to Hawaii, like there's rice at McDonald's."
Yeah,
But he's
there's-
like, "No."
there's
I
like,
went.
And then-
I was like, I went with the guys, so I was like, okay, let's go and let's check this out. And we're in line, and for some odd reason, one of our guys is trying to go through the drive-through. Like, we ain't got a car, so we go in through the front, and then I'm like, we're going through the screen, and I'm like, no way. And they're like, what? I was like, there's rice, and they're spamming it.
Yeah.
I was like, yo, order. We got it. We tried it. It's like, bro, that's authentic.
I remember
Not
the mall,
authentic.
dude. The
That's
mall was
hilarious.
the mall had a bunch of places, and they all had like rice.
Yeah.
That's
Spam,
crazy,
rice, and
bro.
egg.
I love
You know, that's like the
L&L
dream.
there.
That's like the dream right there.
Yeah. Poke can't go wrong with a poke bowl. Oh man.
What's that one chicken called? Katsu.
Katsu.
Chicken?
Katsu
That
chicken?
was really
Oh yeah.
good. I had
Oh
some
my
over
gosh.
there. Like, I still think about that chicken.
You should try. You should try her katsu, bro.
I don't
Oh
know,
my
maybe
gosh,
something like
it's
that.
so good.
Hey, when we have jam night,
Hey,
You guys let me know.
we'll
Yeah.
definitely make some katsu
I'm so
chicken
down
for
to
you.
come again, bro.
Yeah, dude,
Jam session was really fun.
come through.
You just let me know.
Honey said she
will.
wanted to come in karaoke, so we can.
Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty fun.
There we go.
Let's do it. You have lived in Arkansas your entire life, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have plans to visit or permanently reside in the Marshall Islands in the future?
Ooh. That's a good question. I think if I take this work study loan, honestly, like I wouldn't mind living there. I feel like it's a really cool place to be, and I know that it'd be cool to be a teacher over there too, just to see like the change and everything. If I would like that island side of me has been kicking in, you know, since summer's hitting, and either it's that or I actually want to go live in the islands. It'd be really cool, whether it's
Yeah.
Marshall Islands or Hawaii. So I see it as a potential.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to the Marshall Island?
No, I have not.
Oh, you're
I feel like that Yahweh spirit, like you'll feel that immediately once you get to the islands. Like, you'll get smacked with humidity once you get off the
Yeah.
plane, but
yeah.
once you start interacting with people, like I remember when I was there, I was saying hello to everybody. I was just, what's up, talking to everybody. Come back to the States, and I saw someone wearing a Barca jersey. I was like, hey, nice jersey. He looked at me like, I was like, bro, dang, back in America. I was like- but yeah, that's like something that I really am excited for you to experience.
Mhm.
So I can't
No,
wait.
that'd be really interesting, you know, to see you be a teacher in the Marshall
Mhm.
Islands. I feel like they need more teachers out there.
I've talked to they work on the Marshallese education. They came by Springdale in November, and we had like a little discussion with bilingual Islander Club representatives and them, and they were just like comparing the school, like how like, oh, how do kids get to school and this and that. And they're like, yeah, everyone in here needs a car, but like it's just like what they said was kind of I don't want to say offended, but I was just like, whoa. They said it's like we don't have any money. Then I was like, wow, like as much as that like kind of hurts to hear, it's kind of true, you know?
Yeah.
And so if I get to teach over there, it's gonna be a lot different. Like I said, the cultural difference, especially because we've kind of assimilated with what people are here. You know?
And what do you think that future generations going to this school, like in the school district, can kind of like adjust to bring that money to school?
I think what we discussed then was it really came down to the root of the issue, which is it's not that parents don't care, but as I'm speak for immigrant parents, it's hard for them to be involved in like things, you know, like to be there for their kids because they're always working and stuff. And that's an issue we've seen in our community, Marcia's community, that parents, they do care, they just can't find the time to do it because they're always busy doing work.
I feel like I see that a lot online. It's where people are just so quick to blame the parents for not, you know, being part of their kids' life, but at the same time, you know, they're working hard to provide a better life for their child. And so talking about the future, you know, after you earn your barbershop license, you'll be pursuing a bachelor's degree in education. So why education?
I think the biggest thing with education, that why I wanted to do it was because during this year, trying to figure out what I really wanted to do, I did kind of like a self-reflection of like who I really am. And I went through my pros and cons. And, I mean, I would tell, because my original plan was to be an accountant, you know, that's what my parents put on me. And I was like, you know what, I'll be an accountant. Like, how hard can that be? But when I would talk to my friends, they're like, you be an accountant? And I was like, what? And I was like, am I dumb or something? And they're like, no, like, it's just not you. Like, they don't see me working behind an office. And I was like, yeah, that's true. Like, I feel like that's not really, like, putting use to what God gave me, you know, and being creative. And so I did some more investigation on, like, what I could do. And, I mean, I looked at online, like, e-commerce and stuff. But then again, I was like, that's not really what I'm passionate about. I'm not passionate about, like, learning about stocks. I mean, that's cool and all, but that's not me. And so I thought, again, like I did a self-reflection and I thought I could be a teacher. Like, I started going to this church and I like got to the point where I was even like preaching to people. And I realized like, not just the preaching part, but like teaching people and helping people understand or explain things, that I found that very, you know, fun. And I found that like my heart was wanting that, like, you know. And so it was teaching because I want people to, well, not just march to these kids, but I want kids to understand, or what's that called? I want to explain things to them. You know, I feel like that's fun. Teaching, especially the kids that are kind of lost in class, like how I was, having to explain to them in a better way. I feel like that'd be, you know, a cool way to connect. Oh,
I had like a really cool experience with like teachers too. Like this one teacher I had at Springdale High School, like I was struggling. I didn't know what I was going to do after high school. Yeah. And they said, Chase, what gives you butterflies? I wanted to do like CDL driving, and I was like, I don't see myself as a trucker. Yeah. And I had like a similar experience, but music always gave me that, like just doing it with the guys like Mark Harmony always gives me that feeling. I'm like, that's what I need to do.
Yeah. And the clarity I got when I spoke to like my mentors is like, if this is what God wants you to do, he will provide. And so that was the biggest thing with money. I was like, how am I going to make money from doing certain things? Teachers get paid more when they retire. So I'm like, hey, I'm all in. You know what I mean?
Can't complain.
Yeah. Anything about retirement. No, I actually see you. I do see you as a teacher more than an accountant.
Yeah.
You know, teachers are probably one of the most creative people anyways, you know, with classes, you know, them trying to figure out how best to teach students. But in their like own way.
Yeah. And so
yeah.
When I was thinking about being a teacher, I was like, you get a curriculum and then you could do anything with that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Thinking about history, like I feel like history is super interesting. I feel like it depends on what part of history you teach. Like, I mean, you could teach World War I and all that stuff, but there's like different parts of history. Like, oh, like this is what like happened, so that's why we act a certain way. I met my teacher, Mr. Lewis. he taught AP World History, and from then I was like, wow, like history is actually really cool.
Yeah.
And
So is that a subject you would want to teach, or?
I'd love to teach that just because I could go into that. But like those people that came from the Marshall Islands educational system,
Right.
we talked about one day being able to teach Marshallese history, and so I was like, whoa, like that'd be something really cool. Like,
That's the dream.
That is the dream.
Just, teach Marshallese history at the islands, maybe. I don't know, wherever.
I mean, yeah, like even back then when I was in high school, just a while ago, we always talked about, don't do the math, guys. We always talked about, a Marshallese history curriculum. And so it's been talked about for more than like 10 plus years. And so I'm kind of excited that, it's the wheels are spinning now. And so hopefully that will become a reality.
And again,
one day.
That's like what you asked, how can we bring more money? That's one of them, like teaching
Exactly.
kids like where we actually came from and what happened. So it'd be really cool to do that. But other than that, I think finance is also one thing I would love to teach. Just because I know there's this lady that's a financial advisor, and she came to speak to like the Spirit of High School. She was talking about how like she's helped a lot of Marshallese people with money, and I feel like that's something I could teach kids, like Marshallese kids, a lot of like financial stuff, how we can handle our money better or whatever. To me, that's pretty cool.
Right. With that, you have a lot of good goals, a lot of aspirations, and I'm excited to see where this journey takes you. And so, what advice do you have for the class of 2025?
The class of 2025, I think if I were to give advice, it would just be, it's a good question. I never really thought about this. I think like the typical answer, like do something you're really passionate about. Money will come anyways, but do something that you're gonna, love. And what someone had told me before is, you love a job when it doesn't feel like one. And so when you start getting a job like that, that's when you start enjoying life,
Yeah.
And what message do you have for the future Islander Club presidents?
Make sure you get help. Make sure
Right.
you get help. The biggest advice is getting a group of people to help you, like at least 5 people you can count on to be there, and be present. And I know everyone's always busy doing their own thing, especially senior year, but if you need it, like you just need 5 people, not even 5, like 3, just to get things done. And that's how previous years were able to run so successfully.
Form your Avengers.
Yeah, basically.
Well, Shida, it's been an honor working alongside you the past couple years.
Yeah, it's been
And so it's definitely been great, like seeing you grow and see, like all the goals that you wanted to accomplish. And so we at MEI, we're excited for your journey. We'll be here to support you if you need any support. But just know that we're here for you. And so we're excited for you.
Yeah, it's been a real privilege getting to watch you grow.
Yeah.
And just seeing you start to flourish into this this grown, mature graduate that you are today. And we're excited to see what you do in the future. Well, that concludes our episode of MEI the Podcast today. Be sure to follow our YouTube channel and Spotify and subscribe to MEI the Podcast. We want to say thank you to Mashiro for joining us today. We're your hosts, Matthew and Marcina. And as always, we'll catch you